everyone, this is Natasha Wells and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm the librarian here on the west coast of Newfoundland and Labrador, and I'm going to spend just a few minutes with you today and just talk about some of my favorite recipes. I try to eat well every day, not just on Wednesdays. And something that I've been doing in the past several years is really diving into vegetarian and vegan recipes. And one of my very first vegan recipes that I made came from a book called The Kind Diet by Alicia Silverstone. And that was published many, many years ago, and there is a copy of that available in our library. But that's not the book I want to talk about today, although she has some fabulous recipes, some wonderful tips for those that maybe just be who are starting out exploring the vegan options and the vegetarian options as well. But she is 100% vegan, and she's written many books since then. And but today I want to talk about 3 books that I'm going to show you. And most of these cookbooks, I actually discovered the creators of these recipes through the internet, of course, as many of us do, explore recipes on there. And I have since visited or read their cookbooks, and I often revisit their blogs and their Facebook pages and so forth. And I always try to find something new and different. But the recipes that I'm going to share with you today are my sort of go-to recipes that I cook on a regular basis. So the first one is one that I actually probably was one of the first after exploring The Kind Diet by Alicia Silverstone, is Angela Liddon's Oh She Glows Every Day. And some of you may be very familiar with her blog. She also has an app, I believe, and wonderful, wonderful recipes. And I have enjoyed everything that I've made from Angela Liddon in this cookbook, and also the ones that she has written about in her blog. So these are quick and simply satisfying plant-based recipes, okay? So if you're really looking into exploring more plant-based options, I think this is one of the best ones to start with for sure. And one that I have tagged for today is one of my favorites, the Comforting Red Lentil and Chickpea Curry. I am a huge fan of curry. Here's a picture if you could see. I'm a huge fan of curry, okay? I grew up on curry. So I love trying different types of curry, and I often will put chickpea in my curry, but I had never really explored the option of putting lentils in my curry. So that's something that I started doing when I came across this recipe. Now, one thing I will say is that sometimes in these recipes, there is an ingredient that you don't have. And I mean, it's, you know, are you gonna run out and buy that one item, that one spice just for the recipe? You don't have to. I've actually skipped sometimes or substituted ingredients, and it's perfectly fine. You know, it's all about taste. So generally when you make recipes too, you tend to adjust for your taste. So that is definitely one I recommend. And again, it's Oh She Glows Every Day by Angela Liddon, a really great starter book for those that are exploring plant-based options. Okay, the next one is another one of my favorites, and it is Thug Kitchen, Eat Like You, bleep. Yes, and I should let you know that they are no longer known as Thug Kitchen. They actually have renamed and rebranded themselves as Bad Manners, so you can look them up as well. They have a website too, and I have explored this book on many occasions, and I find it mostly hilarious because they like to cuss a lot, which is fine by me. It just makes it like a really entertaining way of cooking. And their recipe or tips about how to bake tofu. How to bake tofu is really, really great. So if you're one of those that are like, oh, tofu, well, believe me, I've been there. But you know what? Now I'm like, tofu, yum. I love tofu. And it's because I've learned how to cook it. And baking is one of the best options. Marinating the tofu is key. And they give some wonderful tips in this book here. And again, also available in our library. So check this one out too. And believe me, you will laugh. And the last one is, again, another one of my favorites. It's a blog that I visit very often. And I realized that we have a book their cookbook in our library too, and it's called Two Peas and Their Pod Cookbook. Every single recipe I've tried of theirs, love it, and it's always turned out great. So one of my go-tos, and I probably do it a little bit too much, but that's okay, it does get eaten, is their banana bread. Now, I know, how many times can you make banana bread? And I'm sure we had many banana breads baked over the past year during the shutdown. I mean, what else are you gonna do when you're stuck in the house, right? You bake. So I made lots of banana bread, and their recipe I found was super, super yummy. And it's called chocolate banana bread. Now, if you're allergic to chocolate, you can totally leave out the chocolate and substitute some different options, okay? Just make plain old banana bread, zucchini banana bread, and if you are gluten tolerant, you can use oat flour. I have used oat flour in this recipe before because I'm trying to reduce the amount of gluten in my baking, and delicious. I'm so glad I did. A few years ago, a friend of mine came to visit, and she is gluten intolerant, and I made her a wonderful dessert, a gluten-free dessert. And since then, I've been exploring more gluten-free options, and I love this one in particular by Two Peas in Their Pod Cookbook, their banana bread recipe. Again, don't be scared to substitute ingredients, or skip an ingredient, or adjust. You know, if you have anybody in your house that's not picky, is not a picky eater, they're gonna eat it no matter what, believe me. So I hope you enjoyed these recommendations of these 3 cookbooks, my go-tos. And like I said, I think these are 3 great options for you to look at if you are exploring a more plant-based, vegetarian way of eating and incorporating more of that into your diet. So go out there, explore new recipes, explore these blogs, explore these books that are all available in our library system, and feel free to comment. Let me know how some of those recipes turned out. I'd love to see pictures too. So take care and have a great day. Bye.